Searching, searching. I'm searching, 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 searching. Hearing us. You can't hear it all. A brawling famous. You can't hear it all. We are fighting for the earth.
Yes, indeed. We are all fighting for the Earth. I'm Gary Legere, also known as the Mad Martian, who's the host of the Martian Revelation that is upon you all now. And indeed, think about that. We are all fighting for the Earth. And that's exactly the truth in what I'm doing and what I'm trying to do. I'm fighting for the Earth. I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting for all of you to get to the truth and to the secret old yet new image data that's being suppressed and prevented of telling the truth about them, let alone showing them to you. And of course I'm talking about the UFO Diaries and those secret faces of Mars that were investigated and to which were connected to HOAGLAND by evidence and testimony. All that's rock solid. And there is in fact a war for the Earth. Not just going on in what my battle is for the Earth that I'm fighting for to get you all this truth and these images, but everyone. Like the song says, we are all fighting for the Earth. They're all fighting for the Earth to believe what their truth is, to believe their spin on what that truth is, and that their spin and their truth is so valuable that they must charge you to give you that truth, and that if you give them your money, well, therefore, in their minds, they know that they have you because you believe in their truth. And in the truth on how they spin the world. Damned where the science and the evidence and the investigation of where it leads, or no matter who it leads to. That's the beauty of all this. So we're all fighting for what that truth would be. You know, I'm up against a lot in this. I'm up against established researchers and established media outlets to which for years they've been pushing their truth based upon their investigative analysis and then their own spin on that to be a leading say. And therefore we're all fighting for the earth because in the truth or the lies. Which is the truth or the lies? The light and the dark. Where does that fall into play? Of when that investigation does hit home to them and then hits across to someone closely affiliated and connected to them. What happens then? Well, that's what this is about. And that's what the amazing Awaken Aware 2013 time travel panel comes into play in all this. And for the golden nuts at the moment of Anthony Sanchez, it must not come very many times, but you know what? I gave him the Golden Balls Award for the moment. Anything else, well, you know, he has to earn. And he has to earn his way back, especially with me. Because of all that was said and all that went down, and how all this unfolded and was trying to unfold, trying to set me up and basically pin me in the trap. To do what? To play this down, or to play me down, to placate me, to placate you? Because these attempts were being done to try to shut me up. Being offered golden carrots in front of me, thinking that I'm a jackass, that I would follow it, that I would want to eat it. I'm no jackass. I'm no fool. And I was told that's one of the reasons why Richard doesn't like me. It's because he can't fool me. And we're going to get into some of these issues of why I am not fooled. Because I'm seeing into the very things that he says today, even at that panel answer, which I'm going to break down and lay out. So as this war continues between the dark and the light, and those that paid the people to put their spin on the truth of the world as being the truth and of the light, then therefore, well, what am I? Am I the dark side? But yet, look who's talking about this, and look who's not. Look who's avoiding it. Look who's not even wanting my name to be mentioned. I mean, this has got to be eye-opening shit to all of you, because this is a real case. No matter what anyone says or wants to play down, they don't know their facts. They're going by, well, certainly if we're so willing to give our money to people who we think or believe are telling the truth, and because they put it in such a way to which it appeals to me, you know, what their ears want to hear, truth be damned, to make them feel more comfortable, well, sorry. I'm not about that. That's why it's a fight, okay? And that's why it's a big story, where people are wanting to help the suppressor of the truth keep suppressed and covered up his truth, even with the knowledge that he's lying and keeping this from them, is absurdity to me. It doesn't make any sense. They're picking and choosing sides without knowing what's really going on and knowing that this fight I'm fighting is to help them. That's why he did the things he did to me and mine and my show, to prevent them and you all 7 years ago from hearing about this or discussing further into it. Instead, many and most helped squash it, and that seems to still be going today, because affiliates and connections with Hoagland, it just doesn't seem right, and it's not right. And that's one of the reasons why I'm also not giving in. We all deserve this truth, like it or not. Pick your side or not. I'm not your enemy. If anything, I'm your friend. We all deserve to know and see and have access to those images and their data, the pertinent information about them. People want to make excuses and try to not to see the importance or the relevance of these images and the relevance and the connections to Mr. Hoagland and what he has and has not been doing in regards to them. But yet he did a shitload of stuff to me and mine because of them. And that's okay to these so-called pay-me truth-tellers. They're telling you lies because they're asking you to pay them for their guidance and leadership of you to steer you to where supposedly the truth lay. Okay? That makes sense, right? You people that pay them, that's what you're paying them for, right? Or you just, hell, truth be damned, whatever be damned, reality be damned, you're just there for the entertainment and just want to give them your money. Well, that's up to you too, and there are people that do that. But those serious of the truth and interested in things that demands answers, this is one of those things. And I'm one of those people doing the fighting for all of you to try to get this truth. So it was an amazing thing again at that Awaken Aware Time Travel panel of 2013 of when Mr. Anthony Sanchez brought up the question to him. His long extended answer we will get into, because as I said, it's coded, but I think the best way first is to hear it out, okay? And then, after which, I will come in and we'll go part by part to where I believe he's talking in code and what he's really revealing about himself in having the answer about what he did not. Again, leaving coded information about himself that we can see, if we see, about himself, to which answers for why he did not even acknowledge Anthony's question with a full answer regards to UFO Diaries or those faces images. He didn't even talk about it or mention it in reply, Mr. Hoagland. So, you tell me, but I will tell you, because I see it. And it seems that he's screaming that he wants others to see it.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Hopefully that some one of us or ones of us will see.
So I think the best way to do this is to play this out and then listen to it carefully, rewind it and hear it again need be. But well, I'm going to play it again and break it down as we play it again. Because there's stuff I'd like to say in reply, and there's stuff, you know, I'd like to connect to or bring up in what I see again in his words that eludes us all, that he's trying to let us see about himself and what he's really doing.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Hopefully that some one of us or ones of us will see.
But many not seen this. Instead it caused confusion. And that fits exactly even what he said on the surface of his answer of what he's really doing behind the scenes. And no one got it. I get it. And I don't really like it. But I'm using it in this fight, to help you people think, to help you see what I see. Especially when he himself is throwing it out there.
I'm NASA and you're not?
Hopefully that some one of us or ones of us will see.
Because this is where the future lays, based upon what we see or not see. And I'm convinced of that. But I believe this road must be traveled in order to get those images and their pertinent information. Which again, as I said, I already have a mechanism in place that, that answers for them. Don't I, Mr. Hoagland?
I'm NASA and you're not?
Hopefully that some one of us or ones of us will see.
So let's sit back and listen to this for about 13 to 15 minutes of that panel question and answer, extended answer. And then we shall break down into it.
Yes, very curious, very interesting. I do so enjoy observing the flora and fauna of that tiny
Dick
Hoagland. I think that tiny
Dick
Hoagland is the most interesting insect on Earth, don't you? There is a growing tendency to think of man as a rational thinking being, which is absurd. There is simply no evidence of any intelligence on the Earth. Wait.
Testing 1, 2.
Oh, goody! Some kind of activity down there. Could it be? It is! Oh, peachy! A new form of primitive life. And look! It's leaving its nest. I've never witnessed a fledgling leaving its nest before. What beautiful markings.
Yeah, I have a question for Richard Hoagland. I own a radio station called Scepter Radio Network, and we have a lot of shows on there. The most controversial show we have right now is some gentleman who worked with you in the past who claims that you are suppressing images of Mars that he has discovered through a video called UFO Diaries. And I'm not trying to, get you upset or anything, but I figured you could address that and help put that to rest. Because a lot of people are in disagreement with him that they've seen the UFO Diaries on YouTube and they don't see what he's saying. He sees, but he's convinced that you're suppressing images in collusion with NASA. So I just wanted to get your take on that officially.
This is delicate to talk about because the individual who is promulgating this is not totally here, and I don't mean that in a positive sense. He calls himself Mad Martian, And unfortunately, that is somewhat accurate. Think about it this way. I have spent the last 35 years pressing NASA and this government to release the data they've accumulated about an ancient civilization on Mars. I have looked high and low for images, for evidence, for documentation. I have spent countless hours, countless amounts of money, countless hours in airplanes, countless time talking to people, listening to total wackos on the possibility they might have a germ of data, cross-correlating. If I was able to prove that NASA had a set of images of the structures at Cydonia that have never been made public, and I had access to them, wouldn't it be kind of logical that I could make a fortune if I brought those out and revealed them? What possible logical reason would I have to suppress that smoking gun evidence? Gary, that's his real name, Gary Legere, unfortunately is not well. He needs help. And Robin and I, through many years, tried to help him quietly, privately, in ways that I don't have to go into. And I have the awful feeling that Gary has been turned into a kind of misguided missile by the dark side, by the bad guys, in an effort to basically throw more spaghetti on the wall. Because in an era where there is a changing physics, so more people are conscious, more people are looking around and saying, what the hell am I doing? Why is that happening? That doesn't make sense. We need to change that. When that is a general societal occurrence, it means you can no longer keep secrets. Someone, somewhere, sometime, certainly with the internet, certainly with this incredible, extraordinary explosion of social media and networking and people able to gather, this is almost like a flash mob that Kerry put together. In that era, the only way you can keep secrets is to try to confuse people, to just screw things up so that no one knows who to trust. And so I view Gary as someone who is predisposed to be susceptible to influences where he becomes a disinfo agent to basically screw up data that we're trying to present in a logical, coherent, scientific fashion where you can hang on to it and validate that this part is true, this part is true, this part is true. Okay, then this part could be true. Remember, the only things that I say are absolutely real is the data on Mars and the Moon, evidence of ancient structures, and the physics. The politics, who did what to whom, what the timelines are, what may be happening day after tomorrow, what's going on in Washington, it's all a set of scenarios prescinding from this database that I've spent 30 plus years trying to figure out. So no, you don't make me upset by asking the question. You make me sad because we really tried to help someone. And as they say, no good deed goes unpunished. The good news is, by Gary doing what he's doing, he's forcing more people to ask deeper and better questions like you, allowing me the opportunity to set the record straight. Now, your first question, which I've totally forgotten. Boy, don't get me started, please. Again, in an era where the only way, Sean, please. In an era where
let me make a disclosure here. A disclaimer here, a public disclaimer, because we are live, and I just want to protect everyone here. So these are the personal opinions of our guests, and they are allowed to have a personal opinion when asked a question. And this organization, Camelot, and the organization of the panel is not necessarily in agreement with all the speakers. So let me just say that disclaimer at this time. Let's try to avoid specific names when we refer to these various questions if we can. when individuals are at stake, and rather than criticize them directly, can we talk a little bit without putting their names on unless you really want to do that?
When we interview them on Scepter Radio Network,
yes,
we're completely objective, unbiased, and we let them say what they have to present.
Yes.
And we don't make any judgments against them.
I know. I'm just saying that just for it give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Go right ahead, Richard, and answer the question.
After that, okay. I don't normally take out after people. If you've noticed over the last several decades, I don't say bad things about most people. In fact, extraordinarily rarely do I come out and call a certain individual by name in certain ways that do not seem to accord with our objective, which is to figure out what the hell is going on and get at the truth. When this phenomenon first surfaced, it was so obvious to me, based on information that I don't really have time to go into. I mean, I could, but it would take too much time.
I'm going to ask for more than one person to reply to the same question. Go right ahead.
Okay. That it was obvious to me that this new wave of, shall we say, reportage was part of a very sophisticated campaign to do what I just described. In an era of rising physics and rising consciousness, where even the mainstream is commenting on certain phenomena that they can't understand why people are changing their minds so rapidly. And they keep commenting over and over again. This is happening at an incredible pace. Why, just a couple of years ago, people, and you're seeing politicians every day step to a microphone and suddenly change their position. In that era, you really can't keep secrets much longer. So the only defense mechanism of the bad guys, the controllers, the ones that want to keep us down on the farm, is to spread confusion and dissension and information that can't be checked, but comes with an exquisite, believable storyline, which in a way is a kind of a metaphysical test. It's like, where is your internal discernment? What do you resonate with? What do you feel is the truth, as opposed to what at the moment you can actually prove? This whole idea of travel to and from Mars and a whole program, Pegasus and all that, I view, admittedly, in a very jaundiced light, in view of the data we have looked at and the fact that we really shouldn't have this data at all. We should have, if the control of the real solar system and our real heritage and who we really are was 100% absolute, we wouldn't even be having this conference. We wouldn't know anything was wrong. There is so much free will going on. So again, the fact of this phenomenology suddenly springing up about a couple of years ago, to me, is an indicator that we're winning. The other side is getting so desperate to try to maintain control that their last avenue of control is to confuse people. So the folks that are trying to do things are viewed with suspicion and fear, as opposed to an open, okay, let's see where this goes. Fear is the mechanism. I allude back to Korea. So I view this area, particularly the involvement of certain very visible high-level political persons, as a mechanism of distraction from the agenda of where we seem in resonance with this wave, this surfs up physics, which we're all riding toward an extraordinarily different future, if I read the numbers correct. And it's almost, again, sad that this is happening, because it's not going to work. It's not going to distract us very long. It doesn't need to have names attached to it. It will fall by the wayside, and the reality of the extraordinary past and future we once had and can have again will come to the fore.
Okay, thank you. Okay, actually, I'm sorry, and I will let you go next, but I'd like Art to reply to this. Do you want to say something to this, because you have something to say? And this is your opportunity. So if you would like to address that question.
Well, simply put, I agree with Richard. Regardless of my story. No, I understand that. And I'm thankful that other people are expressing what I feel, what I was going to talk about a little bit tomorrow, but without mentioning names, for legal reasons. I'd like to have a little peace. But no, there's a lot of clouding, but just use your critical thinking and use your heart.
Let me add one postscript.
Ask lots of questions.
Okay. We have documented in Dark Mission that all of the astronauts, except for one, appear to have been subject to, and I'll use a gentle term here, mind alteration. The one guy who wasn't, who was held as sacred among that group, unfortunately is now no longer with us. He also is the one astronaut who never appeared in public, except under extraordinarily rare circumstances. And when he did, he was very, very taciturn and very circumspect in what he said, except on the 25th anniversary of Apollo at the White House, with the President of the United States standing behind him, where he spoke in such a blatant code about what Apollo really did and what it accomplished and what it brought home, that even some skeptics I know were raising their eyebrows. Because he started out that speech by referring and comparing the astronauts to parrots who couldn't fly very well. And what are parrots known for besides flying? Repeating things they've been told. So he tried to tell the truth, and in Emily's parlance, to tell it slant. I feel this current group of individuals, because I pay very close attention, as one has to when you're trying to mix the politics and the science and thread your way through the matrix. I feel this current group of individuals is equally sincere and also have had their minds altered, that they have a script and they believe their script. It doesn't mean we have to.
Believe it or not.
Motherfuckers!
I'll be back.